Collapse can manage to get kills with Mira, that could change Spirit's momentum a lot with this beast.
Yeah, very depending on lanes right now. How the lanes go will decide a lot in this game.
Part of the Tusk is saving allies with Snowball. Do you think that's maybe a little bit on the risky side, or?
I think he wants to kill the Silencer.
Yeah.
I think this is a hero that can just like get on him and kill him right away. It's going to be more of an aggressive Tusk game instead of a defensive one.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to double jump with Puck. That's where going to be their target number one.
All right. Thank you guys very much for your insights. We are ready to get into the game, but before that, we're going to a coach's interview with Silent from Team Spirit.
Prepare for battle. Arranca partido.
Тише, мальчик. Тише, мальчик.
Seconds to battle.
That's right, it's time to make our grand finals head underway. On one side, we have a team that is absolutely the best team of the year, but on the other side, the strongest team of the tournament. On one side, we have three-time major winners.
A lot of TIs, Cap. We are going back 12 editions of this right now. We have seen lower bracket runs, we've seen upper bracket runs, we have seen First Bloods, we have seen Roshans, but one thing is absolutely clear to me right now at TI12, in the heart of DOTA in Seattle, these two teams are undoubtedly the best two teams in the world right now, and both of them are absolutely terrifying.
And that's exactly why Gaimin Gladiator stacked the bounty runes, but they failed to be able to claim the First Blood. They wanted to be able to get that early momentum over a team that is so scary. I mean, Team Spirit have demolished every team that has stood in their way. Gaimin Gladiators, though, have had to make the long run through the lower bracket, and there's something special about that lower bracket momentum.
You cannot underestimate how much this team has gone through, especially going to their fourth Valve event grand final of the year. No team has made a complete sweep, and usually the team that is favored in that sense can't even make that type of run, so this team cannot be underestimated. At the same time, all of us here watching, when you see Yatoro come out of that player walkway with a shaved head, the amount of fear that instills into you, the amount this man is willing to sacrifice to claim a second Aegis and join that limited pantheon of two-time TI winners, you can't not help but be a little afraid of what he's willing to do here. In a best of 5, both these teams are capable of anything. The greatest question, however, if you've watched this lower bracket run from Gaimin, is can Team Spirit put a stop to the speed and the tempo in which they are playing these games? Because right now, nobody across all of those series has been able to do it. A lot of these games have not gone past the 25-minute mark. So you need to slow it down, you need to play your game, or at least take it back to them. And if there is one team in the world that can accomplish that, it is Team Spirit, who have shown that they are no slouches when it comes to the first 10 minutes, particularly the laning phase.
Yes, this laning phase is going to be the ultimate test for this best of 5. It's going to be a long journey to get through this finals. And who walks away winning this laning phase could just end up winning the entire thing, as Maposhka will end up going down. Tofu finally claims First Blood for Gaimin Gladiator.
And this is a familiar story. Acceleration for Ace on the off-lane lone Druid. This is a hero that has demolished the lower bracket along with all the buildings in those series. A scary hero to give a lead off to here, especially when once more Gaimin have a lot of tempo that can just go with Ace, go through these objectives, play with that Bear's timings. But I like what Spirit have brought out here in game 1, right? These are a lot of heroes that are not afraid to skirmish early and take it straight back to you.
The death against Tofu will end up helping to get the kill onto Tofu, but will end up falling into the end. And Ace is gladly going to be able to dive a bit more onto Maposhka. They are definitely winning this lane. They're walking away with it a bit.
And that's going to be fast orb corrosion for the Bear. That's going to give him a lot of chase down potential in this lane.
He's still going to find it. Maposhka, he has that extra little bit of heal. He'll end up dying the Bear. That's going to be 300 gold over to Yatoro, but Ace can keep up that pressure with a fresh resummon.
Big turnaround for Yatoro, honestly. This lane was looking a little grim if you get Ace to that fast orb corrosion, which has just taken over a lot of these lanes. All of a sudden, you get a bear kill back. A lot of golden XP for Yatoro. He can start to regain momentum in this lane. This is a very strong lane for Team Spirit. Tree Weaver, there's not much that beats this, so this just shows how strong this offlane is for Gaimin as well. They're
it would
combating
be
the bug.
such a massive win if they could actually bring down Ace, but Yatoro's going to have to try and go for Tofu instead, who gave up his own life to be able to kill the bug on Ace to protect his core. He does die,
HP.
but if Yatoro gets caught by an entangle here, it's going to be a heavy punish, but not afraid, turns around, battles back against that bear, knowing Ace still has some time before he has another resummon available.
Still a lot of gold going to Yatoro here as he takes a net worth lead. Good sign for Team Spirit is, I mean, Weaver has to be one of the fastest carries in this meta. I think CK is the other one that I had point to. Of course, Bristleback, he's a pseudo carry getting banned out. This is a hero that Team Spirit first picked for a reason. If they get him to a good position, he can go and defend all these towers. You can take every single fight with this carry hero, try and match Duracio's pace, where I almost feel like it doesn't matter what hero Duracio's playing. This guy is going to run at you. He's going to join all the skirmishes with Quinn. You have to be ready for the 5-man collapse at a certain point. Either get some trades, be ready to defend them at the towers. This Beastmaster can trade on the map. That's another objective that Team Spirit can look for as this game progresses.
I feel like out of all the players on Gaimin Gladiators, it's definitely Duracio.
That's a resummon.
Yeah, it is. Ace, he'll lose yet another bear, and Yatoro's just climbing up the network chart now. A laning phase that started off a bit bad for them, but now they've got a full 20-second window with no bear, so they should easily be able to get most of the CS. And also, the bounty. Man, he is sitting at 3K net worth already, way ahead of anybody else in this game.
It adds up real fast. These bears are worth a lot. It's also extra damage going into Ace. You're not healing while the bear's on cooldown. There's a lot going wrong in this offlane for Gaimin right now for the hero that's supposed to give them that lead, at least comparatively to those other games, right? This is still a very even game, but if you watched any of these series yesterday, particularly the Azure one, I guess if you're not down 5K at the 5-minute mark, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, seriously, you cannot let Gaimin Gladiators run away with the laning phase. And that, when we were talking about it backstage, and so many other people that we talked to backstage, everybody was saying, Team Spirit is not going to get run over in the laning phase. They won't let that happen. You can make these kind of rotations, pick up on the snowball. They have 3 heroes to all bang onto this gyrocopter, but it's not quite good enough. Tofu protecting them nicely. They'll get some damage in return, but Team Spirit are going to remain relatively healthy.
Nice missile dodge on the snowball. Mira, he's going to be able to make some really nice plays this game. This Tusk is a hero that can not only give him the physical burst to go through the bear at the later stages, but the snowball dodge on heroes like Gyro and Pango that have to throw out their spells at the start of a fight. It can get you your core BKBs off. It can stall out the fight, get you a roar off of, collapse coming back out of it. Something that could be really instrumental as this game progresses here. And once more, Spirit making the first moves here. Mapochka has been really active in this laning phase, trying to skew it as much as possible to Team Spirit's advantage. Give them that breathing room. And of course, this is a Treant Protector lineup. We're talking about these objectives, something Gaimin's focused on. If you can keep your towers up, living armor.
The double slows are going to help here, and Quinn's going to come back into this play. Sees an opportunity, but so is Laurel. The 2 supports are already dead, though, and there's no way for this puck to change the matchup now.
+2 int on the board for Celery. Glaive's already getting some extra work done. We'll leave solo lanes on these sides, so Yatoro going to try and make the most of it. He gets rooted. Ooh. Oh, you know he wanted another bear kill on this lane, man. He has been taking it to Ace. Level advantage already going Yatoro's way. It'll look like it'll just be the Dragon Lance. So defensive-oriented build here from Yatoro. Get the high HP up. Don't get bursted in this game. Man, he is just chunking Ace down. This is a roam opportunity up here, right? Like, this is a great hero for Team Spirit to roam on if you can keep chipping Ace's HP pool, because every time you kill this bear, he has to resummon. He's susceptible again, and you don't really take the ult too early.
Laurel, he's going to try and bait it out here by using the illusion rune. The first power rune was an illusion rune. Not necessarily one that you feel the best about, but he's going to try and bait it out by showing his illusion mid and seeing if they can catch something in this top lane. Tofu, he's going to be marked there. Couldn't get there in time to snag away the wisdom rune, but they can get this 1 kill. Ace is around. Laurel, he'll back away. So will Ace. He's ready for the push that's coming in. In fact, he knows he's kind of surrounded by heroes, so he wants to play defensively. But Laurel already back to the mid lane, doesn't want to miss out on too much of his CS.
Nice heads up smoke by Spirit. They are a team that will happily smoke to any of these wisdom runes. And if you studied them, you know it's coming. The 7, the 14, the 21 especially is one of their big power moves. They really want this XP advantage. And again, rotating to Ace's lane, I think, is a recipe for success. The other move you're going to make is to collapse when that helm is up to try and push this tower or kick Duracio out of the lane. But I feel like every time you make one of these aggressive moves on Gaimin in the early game, you're pretty happy with it, right? Because it means they're not going to Ace, they're not pushing your tower, and then things like this can start to happen where another kill for Yatoro. He is absolutely out of control.
Oh, and their carry's going to be in trouble as well. Both cores in big trouble here on the side of Gaimin Gladiators, and no TP rotations coming in. So they're just going to run down Duraccio. Do they dive the tower, though? It's a bit scary, and they've run out of resources. So Duraccio lives, but only on the sliver of HP, and it's not doing him much good either, because he's going to have to make a run back to the fountain, very likely.
Another thing that's causing Gaimin some issues right now, because they want to rotate towards mid, play around Quinn. So every time you bring supports off the side lanes, it's up to Spirit to recreate the pressure there and not let Quinn get away with these skirmishes with the power runes. However, Gaimin rotating supports mid will secure that power rune for Quinn. Now it's a question of what he can do with it here. Can you rotate into Yatoro's lane? Is this Weaver killable in the very early game? Calling plus some roots, it's doable. In fact, they're just going to bring everybody up here. Try and go on Ace again. This is when the lone druid is susceptible.
Perfect opportunity with the bear now being put on cooldown. They have done serious damage to Ace, killing him so many times, and even maybe catching Tofu here. Selly's going to try and slow him down, but that's two supports without a real stun. They're just going to back away, though. Bottom lane, that was the rotation coming out from Quinn. Mira left a bit alone here as the Beastmaster went for the Lotus instead. Good separation there with Shard, and Quinn doesn't feel like diving too deep.
And this is the Helm coming out finished for Collapse. So now you have a second pressure point on the map if you're Team Spirit. You've gone through this early game in a pretty decent spot. Yatoro well ahead of the pack. So if he wants to rotate, play with Collapse, start pushing some of these towers, you can start to take Gaimin's game plan against them here, as they are still struggling to keep Ace in that offlane. This bear has just been exploited in the early game. So much extra golden XP. Try and make the rotation.
Gets back to the safety of the trees. Gaimin Gladiators are here in force, but fortunately the Pango versus the Beastmaster doesn't necessarily leave you the most options. Can't really put to use that Rolling Thunder super well. He's going to try for it anyway, perhaps. Going to force out the Primal Roar. Collapse now going to try and back away with that extra bit of movement speed. Does get hit by the Gyrocopter ultimate. That's going to slow him down enough. Good snowball pickup from Mira. That buys him a couple of seconds, but Quinn is going to follow that ball. He is perfectly matched up to be able to hit them both. The Swashbuckle isn't enough, though. And Duraccio and Quinn are now in trouble. Caught by the coil. Laurel going to lock him down, and there's not much these supports can do to stop it. In fact, they're just going to feed right alongside the other two of Gaimin Gladiators as Team Spirit in a 5-man move sweep over Gaimin Gladiators, run them down underneath their towers, and even through the portal, Tofu will be denied that exit. Instead, he'll head back to the fountain after a triple kill for Yatoro.
And Yatoro straight back to the top lane, doesn't miss a beat. The downside of all that off lane going wrong for Gaimin is Ace didn't even have a bear during all that, so you cannot bring the numbers to that fight. Just an overextension on Collapse that Yatoro was happy to join and get the big swarm turnaround kill. Of course, Laurel with a beautiful coil, just lock him in place. Let the Weaver do the damage here. This is very deep.
Yeah, this is
almost, it feels like a forced play. Yeah, forced play, if anything, right? And you know the snowball save is going to come out here. This is what I'm saying. You disjoint the missile, you disjoint some of the gyro damage. That turnaround is deadly. Trian's going to give you the sustain to just push through a lot of this poke damage. You're also missing the support ults. Orta and Silencer are not too strong when they don't.
Oh, got the first silence on him. If they can keep him in place, the dead shot moves him back in, and they have to use the global, but it will get the job done. A huge kill streak going the way of Ace. His net worth just shot right back up as he got 587 gold for just himself off that kill.
I mean, we're 11 minutes in the game, and Yatoro already had a 6x streak. So Ace absolutely happy to pick that up. That's the power of the global versus the Weaver before he has any sort of dispel item, which looks like it's going to become very late in this game as Yatoro's opted for a Deso buildup. Another reason that kill was pretty valuable, right? You slow down the Deso, limit the charges you can get in these early exchanges. The slower it is, the worse it's going to be, because his pace is very strong right now. Of course, Duraccio, we have not seen gyro too much this tournament, but the big upside for this hero is the stacking, right? It's not something we've seen Gaimin go back to a lot as the game's been very fast, but this triangle is getting stacked and is waiting for gyro to come and collect. Other Ancients are also doubled up right now. This is a lot of golden XP sitting in the bank for Gaimin if they can move Duraccio over there, start to clear through with the max flat cannon. Something that Team Spirit might think about contesting depending on how fast they can push these towers down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that in this game, it's funny, but I feel like the game plan is kind of swamped where Team Spirit want to be able to run over Gaimin Gladiators, take these outer towers so they can disrupt that ancient farming, and they're going to go straight to it. No hesitancy whatsoever. Immediate coil put onto Quinn, but they don't really have the strength to be able to bring him down just yet. Protected by all of Gaimin Gladiators, who, again, they saw Team Spirit in the bottom lane show up as 5. They will do the same here in the mid lane. Quinn looks to find his mark, looks to see if he can drive right on through and straight to Maposhka. He'll find him here in the corner, clear out most of the trees, but Larl is actually going to bounce back in here.
They're going to retake the fight.
But Pochka's going to stand and fight as best he can, but they picked off Ace immediately. Larl trying to make his way out, and oh, the silence. Maybe he gets clipped again. He's dead. Couldn't jump to his orb in time. Yeah, they get Ace, but it does cost them quite a bit as Larl was a big piece of the momentum for Team Spirit here.
Tofu coming up big. Calling is just going to be their biggest way to deal with puck in these team fights. If you can land it, it's probably a dead puck. You dead shot him back into it. It's an extended duration here. Once more, that fight got dragged out. Really nice disengage from Spirit. Draw them back up the ramp. Waste this Rolling Thunder. Chasing Maposhka on the cliff. Yatoro gets another pretty good angle. You can see the aggressiveness they're trying to play with this Beastmaster right now. They're taking the push to Gaimin, not playing defensive at all. And once more, the aggression continues. No Rolling Thunder for Quinn right here.
Bubble sounds to try and protect him. Another swashbuckle up in a second. He's actually going to turn and fight as best as possible, but the puck is going to be the end of Quinn. I thought he was going to swashbuckle down and away from the trees. Maybe that was an error.
This is looking all Spirit in this first 50 minutes here. They're getting a lot for their Beast, the start for Yatoro, and now it's just going to have to come back down to the flat cannon, clearing through the Ancients to put Daracho in a spot where he can start to take these fights. This is a position we've not seen Gaimin in a while, right? In this tournament especially. They are usually the ones with a very strong lead going into this 15-20 minute mid-game period. All of a sudden they're on the back foot. Double damage definitely going to help accelerate Daracho here. But we talked about the resiliency of this team, right? There's a reason they're here in this Grand Finals. There's a reason they've been in a lot of them, too. This is not a team that can only play from ahead. They're going to have to show some resiliency here and playing a little bit from behind, particularly with, I mean, maybe Ace's times, but honestly, he's found a lot given his start. I'm surprised at how rich he is.
Yeah, he's got 3 deaths. I think his bear has died like 5 different times in this game, but still second in the network chart. Still, though, Spirit clearly holding the tempo control of this game. They're up by 3K. They've got to be feeling pretty good about it. Even if they couldn't stop the gyrocopter from clearing out stacks, they don't have to do it the first time around. Just taking these outer towers and trying to scrunch in the map a little bit.
Yeah, take advantage of the fact that Daracho's not ready. And it is dead even. And that would have been my prediction before this series as well.
Goes to show.
I mean, respecting the Ace timing as well, too.
Yes.
Like, this Radiance on the Bear, we have seen them do an incredible amount of work with it, and it's coming soon.
I think Team Spirit really want to finish off this mid-tower before those timings reach the Aghanim Scepter on Daracho, the Radiance on Ace here.
And these are acceleration items. That's the thing. If you give Gaimin time to get to their big farm items in the Radiance and the Aghanim Scepter on Daracho, those items let you fight, but they also let you just clear the map. So holding these tower-ups, if you can limit the space they can use these farming items on in terms of the sides of the map, that's going to feel really nice with this Treant Protector lineup. Maposhka did not go for living armor points early, hasn't even needed them at this point, and all 3 tier 1s are up. Another aggressive coil play.
Tofu with the calling, trying to protect Mira just outside of that silence, uses a snowball, trying to get some distance. Nice dead shot, though. Actually hit Larl in the background.
Yeah, but the exchange on the other side of the map, Ace going down to Yatoro again with this Desolator. Instant reveal, gets 2 charges on it, plus a bear kill as he was just pushing towards that Radiance. 700 off. And this tower dies. This is an influential tower for what Gaimin want to do on the map, because now both Ancients are exposed, and Yatoro straight in there. He would have liked to have found that stack, but he will be happy to take the net worth away from Daracho, a hero that just needs these camps up.
Now you're going to have to need a bit of a backup plan if you're Gaimin Gladiators. You no longer have that good control over the double Ancient stacks like you're talking about.
And look at this fast shard for Yatoro, too.
Yeah.
This is where Weaver's just absolutely terrifying. You're getting the extra Geminate hit off the Sakuchi, going through everybody with an early Desolator. These heroes just don't have the armor to deal with this right now.
Now,
if you don't burst him.
He wants to play super aggressive and get on top of people, which against these kind of silences could play against them. That's why it's very important for them to get this Aegis, get this second life. It gives them time to get the BKB up on Yatoro, so he can't get punished just yet.
I mean, this man has absolutely no chill. He's not here to win an Aegis. He's here to take it away from you. And right now, he is controlling the tempo of this game. It's going to force Gaimin into a smoke that yields nothing, right? They are nowhere here in time, and still missing those big core items to take the fight anyway. You're still 300 gold off this Radiance for Ace. That's your big 5v5 timing. Just an awkward point. Yatoro playing this game way too fast right now, and the Beastmaster from Collapse speeding everything up. Helm of the Overlord is already done, by the way, so this map pressure is going to escalate.
Gaimin Gladiators really not able to do much besides just kind of make sure Duraccio doesn't get smoke ganked. Playing around him heavily. Here comes the pressure from Team Spirit, though.
Radiant's done. This is a good point to get it done if you want to defend this tier 1 mid.
A really fast time lapse there. You could realize Yotaro, I think, felt like he was overextended there. He gets caught once by the silences. There are chances he just dies behind the tower, and then that Aegis may be useless. He may just die twice in a row.
And that's why this build is starting to come together for the Aegis, right? Because Yotaro still doesn't have a defensive item. The Global's still very effective here against Spirit. Laurel also considering a BKB this game on Puck early just to deal with the calling and the global silence that's coming out. Gaimin have a lot of tools to lock down these mobility heroes if they can find them. Right now, Maposhka just doing some scouting.
You managed to spot Maposhka, but there's nowhere for him to really run. He knows it too. He's definitely been caught, but he got some good information. Information that'll lead to the pickoff on Ace. He saw all those heroes and he said, guys, this lone druid is alone in the top lane. Again, kill him.
The single target physical burst is way too fast for this true form to even be considered in terms of casting it. And they just had Ace's number. Radiance reveal down the drain as his timings are going to get prolonged yet again. And I mean, Collapse, he's just farming it up. Not too worried about playing on game inside of the map right now. Just wants to hit his own BKB. It looks like Team Spirit, they're just going to work towards triple BKB timing eventually. Look towards that second Roshan with it, get the spell and debuff immunity up for the silences that are causing them problems in the fight. Then you're not too worried about anything as Quinn is getting shredded by the death throw.
Even if you get out the Rolling Thunder, the physical damage from Yotaro is too much for him to handle. Tofu was kind of desperate, wanted to be able to get that kill on Mira, maybe trying to take away the Aegis, but frankly, he doesn't do nearly enough damage right now to deal with this carry, even on low HP like this. Missed the dead shot on Mira. Managed to sidestep that one, and they'll dive Tofu pretty easily. Yotaro does manage to get off the timeline server so barely. Meanwhile, Celery's picked off in mid. Team Spirit, they are absolutely outplaying Gaimin Gladiators right now on the map. They just know all of these heroes are getting picked apart. There just seems to be no response whatsoever from these Gladiators.
I mean, there's nowhere to run, right? You need to combine the damage here on Gaimin to get anything done right now, and instead it's just Team Spirit going on you on multiple lanes so you can't group up. Aegis still up for 2 minutes here. 8 Deso charges already done for Yotaro as he is just slowly claiming your soul. This is going to escalate fast. This is a scaling lineup too with all the auras they can bring to the table. The Swarm's going to go through. You have Tusk physical damage to pour in on top of it all. And a Chrysalis for Yotaro. I mean, how many aggressive items does he need in this game?
I love the fact he's like, yeah, I don't need that BKB yet. Still have the Aegis for another minute and a half. And considering the pace of game right now, it does kind of feel like he's going to get that BKB once the Aegis expires, because this is going to be another team fight and perhaps another objective taken. 21-minute Wisdom Rune coming up. Tormentor, an object as well. Silence already going out. They're trying to lock down this Weaver, trying to stop him from killing anybody. It gets off the time lapse though. Forces a little bit of a resources out of Gaimin Gladiators. They're just throwing some damage around. Laurel poking at that back line.
You got to be careful of giving Duraccio these good flak targets up front, as they're going to trade a bunch of the Bears' HP.
They're still looking for Poshka over here. They don't have the detection to catch him out.
Something is going wrong with the detection on this tree, and for sure, he's just getting way too much information, way too deep right now. Team Spirit will play it safe, play it slow. Aegis out in 50 seconds, so you have to think about the timer here.
Look at that burst damage. Quinn caught by the coil and instantly killed by Yotaro. And you can feel it. Yotaro is seeing an opportunity. They're going to be able to cut down Celery. And now he goes in for the kill. The Aegis does expire, but the rest of his team provides the disable. So as second life comes back up, he's going to shred through Ace. Looks over to Tofu next. Now, last left, perhaps Duraccio trying to run him down. Duraccio doing his best he can, but up against 3 different cores, he can't actually fight back. He has to run away. Oh, missing out on the dead shot. Yotaro is unstoppable. He's just diving to the base like it's nothing.
You just think about it again. 30 HP is the only thing that'll save you from this man right now. He's just running rampages through the fight. 12 and 2 at 22 minutes. He is just taking everything and more. He has the auras to back him up. This aggressive item build has paid off in spades.
The aggressiveness of Yotaro I've seen in very few players at TI before. I mean, that play when he was morphling, he gets skewered into the base, and then he waveforms deeper into the base. That's the kind of aggression this guy's playing with right now.
You gotta play to win. You play not to lose, it eventually will happen. Right now, Team Spirit just taking over the map. Really good deep wards on those fights. Will get dewarded from Gaimin, but that's the power of what Maposhka is providing them with this tree. All of these fights and pickoffs, they've been scouted. He's been on Gaimin side of the map for a lot of it. Paid off. to a large degree, this early tree and shard. Doing some work. And of course, the vision's really nice versus these silencer lineups, because if you're the one initiating on Gaimin, forcing out awkward globals, taking some damage on your backline, the fight gets very weird very fast, and suddenly Yotaro goes in, he kills somebody, time lapses out, there's a black dragon, pouring some fire on somebody else. Too many fires to put out quite literally here. And once more, Miposhka just scouting out the moves from Gaimin, gives them all the setup in the world. This is deadly, man. The cores from Spirit are converging on top lane.
Look at Miposhka, man. He doesn't care if he gets caught. As long as he gets information for his team, he knows all 5 heroes of Gaimin Gladiators are up here, so Team Spirit are going to slowly approach. They're going to group up together and take this fight.
Yotaro just time-lapse to the fountain and back to get his BKB. He will not have time-lapse for this fight. Says, I don't need it.
Overgrowth with the 3-man coil. It's looking beautiful, and Yotoro's right in there with his fresh BKB to lay the damage into these cores. Once again, Ace has no chance with the bear, and of course the Beastmaster's going to lock down that ball. You're not going anywhere, Quinn. They're going to catch more. Tofu's going to be the last one down. Darachu only survives because of his TP.
Everything coming together. Triple BKB instantly revealed all together on the exact fight Miposhka sets up. It's just beautiful gameplay here from Team Spirit, and Gaimin still searching for answers, because the second these fights start, they're already over. They don't even know they're coming.
Yep.
Yotaro, he does not need an ultimate at all to take these engagements when they are completely one-sided. It'll be more objective pushing. This is just a beautiful 4-man overgrowth setup. You cannot ask for anything more. Swarm hits everybody, and then you get to save Roar for the Rolling Thunder after Ace goes down to just right clicks. I mean, making it look easy out here.
The item timings, the positioning, all of it is just so perfect for Team Spirit.
That's the power of vision. This is a team that won a TI previously off of vision advantage, and they're showing why. The Beastmaster might have got nerfed in this regard, but Miposhka doing his best Hawk impersonation.
If you want to be worried about the Chen of Gaimin Gladiators, I think it's the Tree Protector of Team Spirit that may become a problem in this series. Maybe there's just not enough sentries in the world for you to buy to catch this guy.
I mean, he's dewarding them too. That's the problem. They are lacking sentries. They are lacking the detection. No one wants to buy a gem right now. I mean, you don't want to have to buy a gem for a Tree Protector, but we're getting to that point. And every time one of these fights goes wrong, you fall a little bit more behind with the... I mean, core heroes that don't want to function in these team fights from behind, right? Particularly the Gyrocopter. This is a hero you want to accelerate with the triangle, accelerate with the Ancient Camps, put him in a prime position like a Luna or something where he goes in that fight, he's the absolute raid boss. Darachu has escaped these fights, but across his teammates' tombstones, as you cannot output the firepower to match what Team Spirit are bringing with the ball right now, and everything is looking towards this next Roshan, which Team Spirit would be very, very happy to collect and put an Aegis on Yotaro with his aggressive DPS build. Not to mention, I mean, Laurel is picking up the speed, right? He's just going for the Maelstrom right-click puck. It's also a fearsome late-game beast, especially when you have that Beastmaster aura pumping in attack speed to everybody on this lineup. You have tag team to buff the physical. You're going to have multiple scaling right-click cores here for Team Spirit. You're going to need armor on Gaimin at some point. You're going to need survivability. Satanics, AC, anything that buys you time in this fight.
Gaimin Gladiators almost getting caught there. The overgrowth not quite landing onto Quinn. He'll survive as a result of that. Yotaro still going to have a poke at them, though. We time lapses away before the silences catch him out. So aggressive, man. He's going to start backing away with the rest of his team. As you said, 19,000 net worth lead. They're very comfortable. It's really just not slipping up at this point in time. That starts with being able to get the second Roshan of the game, and then comes the high ground push, which Gaimin Gladiators, I don't know, what do you feel better about, a Roshan contest or a high ground play?
You do high ground play for sure, right? You let him go into you, abuse the fact that the calling is a really strong defensive spell. You catch the tree first, that's a nice pickoff.
It's actually nice with the gem on the ground.
Yeah, okay, so you needed a gem in this game, Miposhka will give it to you. That's a big pickup. Limit the vision, limit Miposhka's aggressive positioning. That was very deep, right? Especially for Team Spirit looking towards this next Roshan. They have the Beastmaster creep in the pit scouting it out. A rich man's Hawk, for lack of anything better. Just waiting on their vision.
Yeah, the sad part for Gaimin Gladiators is they can't actually do anything off of that play besides getting a little bit more farm than normal. They'll be able to push out some of the side lanes. I assume they know that Team Spirit's going to be doing Roshan sometime soon. Of course, they're doing it right now, and it happens so quickly. It gives you such a small window if you're Gaimin Gladiators to actually be able to contest. So you're right. They're going to play for the high ground. They're going to try and see if they can make Team Spirit slip on that staircase.
Just a question of what are they going to get up for that high ground defense, right? It's the Daedalus on Dyrachyo. That's going to be the big DPS item here. Ace is just, I mean, he's just going Wraith Bands. He didn't even get to anything else in this time period. It's just going to be armor up, try and survive the initial burst. Now, these Wraith Bands are pretty nice versus Team Spirit's minus armor rate. So they are very good value. I don't blame him for doing this, but in that other Lone Drew game we saw, I mean, he had a full harpoon before he went back for these Wraith Bands. So it tells you how far behind he is off that, first 15 minutes. Team Spirit shutting him down right now. And the question is, how do you want to go high ground? Because there is a calling to fight into. There is a Rolling Thunder that can abuse you on the choke points. There's the Radiance Burn with Mischance and a resummon, assuming it's hard to jump Ace initially. And of course, Global can bail out any sort of initiation from the Tusk or the Beast. See how strong Yatoro really feels he is if he thinks he can just walk up and start hitting this tier 3. Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe that's why he's gone Scotty here. Level 20 done for the Weaver with Scotty completed a double damage rune and a quiver.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you get hit once by this Weaver, I think you're gone on the supports.
And that's a huge problem for Dyrachyo as well, because he doesn't have that Satanic buildup yet. So he doesn't have the sustain to be able to stand toe-to-toe against the Weaver for too long, Ace.
I don't know if you know what's coming for you right now, but you're not going to like it.
It's going to be a shot to the back of the head. He's gone. Blown away by Yatoro, and they catch Quinn in the mid lane. They don't need Yatoro to make this kind of play. Laurel activates his BKB to catch the opposing mid laner, and with 2 dead, a double damage activated. Team Spirit, all but just waiting for the creep wave to catch up with them.
Well, that's one way to break the high ground. Just one-shot an enemy off-lane carry hero and force it with a double damage here. Yatoro has AC aura behind him now as well, so that Deso plus the Swarm plus the AC is just going to amp this physical through the roof right now, which makes this high ground siege a lot more tempting.
Here goes for the jump. BKB immediately activated by Dyrachyo, but there's that physical damage. Dyrachyo, he can't actually stand up against Yatoro and has to back away to the valley. Yatoro, yeah, he's just going to go for it. See if he gets the crit. He got it! Oh, no way! The final bit of damage required. Yatoro can claim it.
Yatoro, boss. This man knows no fear, no limits right now. He's just taking your base at 30 minutes, a position Gaimin is used to putting their opponents in. The noose has been pulled taut here as Team Spirit have just given them nothing of the map, it feels like, for 15, 20 minutes. Ace can't even escape the tier 3s right now. You're just going to have to take a high ground defense without your carry or watch another lane disappear.
Yeah, I don't see how they stop this without Dyrachyo.
I mean, I think Mira can also jump if he really wants to just force the issue.
Yeah.
This Tuskar is hella tanky right now. Gossamer Cave Drum, happy to start the engagement, particularly if you can find a good core target. He got feared on the jump. That was incredibly impressive, actually, but it will not yield them the fight. It'll be a second lane.
2 lanes of barracks up for Team Spirit. And they still have a minute and a half left on that second life for the Weaver. That final push, I mean, if you're Team Spirit, you're here playing a full best of 5 against Gaimin Gladiators, why not make the first game quick? Just for your own sake.
Yeah, give them a taste of their own medicine.
Uh-huh.
And show that the zoo is indeed not dead. That's the scary part of this game for me. You have Collapse on a hero that, I mean, they have been incredibly proficient with it, right? This was a first phase ban at Riyadh for a reason.
Yep.
It is a Collapse signature hero, but it's not one of those big jump stunners that everybody is afraid of. They're afraid of the Collapse Magnus, the Collapse stunners. This is a hero that just took over the map. He farmed, he played his game with Yatoro, and it was the raw aggression and objective taking to put Gaimin on the back foot. It's a scary thought if Team Spirit are taking
doing it again, isn't he? Yeah.
Own strat against you, and yeah, time lapse to the base for some Daedalus action. Your own X marks the spot.
That is so much burst damage.
Yeah,
when he's got the enchanted quiver on top of that.
This is an insane, like, single hit, right? It doesn't take much. He just Sakuchi's in, hits you instantly, can start to run away. You're just getting chunked. This is the strength of Weaver right now. 15-2 for Yatoro.
Mira looking for his opening. Gaimin Gladiators, it seems pretty clear. They can't take an honest fight against Team Spirit anymore. They're going to have to play around the fountain here. As the jump forward, the Dream Coil is slowly taking him out. Tofu does manage to live for now. Gets back to the fountain with Team Spirit. They still have more opportunities to come. The Aegis is going to expire, so Gaimin Gladiators managed to weather that storm, and it's possible that Team Spirit may decide that it's best just to wait for a third Roshan. before they end it.
I think Toro's happy to give the Aegis up. It'll free up another slot for him at the rate he's going.
Yeah, seriously.
He just wants more damage, more survivability. Everything is great for him right now. The scary part is you can still work towards a Tuskags in this game. I mean, Mira's quite farmed.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about a high ground break mechanism. They really get in a stalemate and need it. He's just going to kick someone out, and Toro just runs straight into them.
Pops his BKB, turns around. Oh, man, that damage is just building up so quickly. Quinn's got it in an instant. So is the Bear. Duraccio battling up against Laurel, but the big bad boss of the fight is definitely Toro. And once he turns his eye on a hero, it
Absolutely
disappears.
over.
Game over for this one. The Team Spirit making absolutely no qualms about shutting Gaimin Gladiators out in their own style. 33 minutes and it's done.
Such a one-sided game one. I mean, nice lower bracket run, right? Welcome to the grand finals here. Welcome to the ultimate boss of Dota right now. As you might have wondered,